What if I told you the most futuristic superbike in the world isn't made of carbon fiber or titanium, but wood? Not from Japan, not from Germany, but from Africa. Built by a team with almost no funding, no fancy factories, and no AI robots. When footage of this bike first hit the internet, the world laughed. Wood can't go fast, it'll catch fire, it'll fall apart in seconds. But when that engine roared to life, and the wooden superbike hit 120 kilometers per hour, silence fell across the engineering world. Because what you're about to see is not just a machine, it's a message. A message from Africa that the future doesn't always come from billion-dollar labs. Sometimes it's carved by hand. In the heart of Burkina Faso, a small group of young engineers worked under the blazing sun. They didn't have access to high-end materials or robotics. What they did have was wood, imagination, and a dream inspired by President Ibrahim Traoré's mission. Build Africa's future with African hands. One of them, a 25-year-old mechanic named Samba Diallo, looked at a broken motorbike one day and said, "If the West can build metal monsters, why can't we build something that's ours? Something born from our soil?" That question started an idea that would soon shake the world. The team began collecting scraps, old motors, recycled chains, spare engines, and blocks of hardwood from the forests of Burkina Faso. Using traditional carpentry tools, they started to shape the first wooden superbike frame. They faced mockery and doubt at every turn. Even local mechanics said, "Wood can't handle vibration. It'll split in half." But they didn't stop. They tested over 9 different types of wood, from mahogany to iroko, searching for one strong enough to handle speed and torque. They treated each piece with a heat-resistant resin normally used in aircraft construction. They layered the frame with carbonized bamboo for extra flexibility, combining ancient craft with modern science. Slowly, the shape began to form, a sleek, muscular superbike unlike anything seen before. The team called it Timbe 1, which means strength of the earth. It was 7 a.m. on a dusty airstrip outside Ouagadougou. A crowd gathered. Mechanics, students, journalists, even elders from nearby villages. The bike gleamed in the sun. Hand-carved patterns along the fuel tank, polished wood reflecting the light like gold. Samba turned the key. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, "Raw!" The sound echoed across the valley. Raw, deep, alive. The crowd gasped. Samba twisted the throttle, and the wooden superbike shot forward like a bullet, slicing through air and disbelief. 100 meters. 200 meters, and then 120 kilometers. A blur of wood and willpower. When he stopped, people erupted into cheers. Elders cried. Children screamed his name. Africa's first wooden superbike had been born. This wasn't just a showpiece. It was real engineering. The engine came from a recycled 250cc dirt bike, tuned for torque and endurance. The frame was made of interlocked hardwood segments, bonded with aerospace-grade adhesive. The tires, standard rubber but mounted on handcrafted bamboo rims coated in resin. Inside the tank, a small, efficient fuel system adapted for biofuel blends, designed to make the bike eco-friendly. Even more impressive, the entire body was carved without industrial machines. Every curve, every groove, cut by hand. And yet the bike could race, brake, and turn with shocking stability. Scientists who analyzed it later said, "It's not just a bike, it's art meeting physics." Within days, videos of the wooden superbike went viral across TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. Global media called it Africa's wooden Tesla moment. Tech reviewers in the US and Japan called it the most creative low-tech innovation of the decade. But more important than the headlines was the symbolism. This wasn't about speed. It was about self-reliance. For years, Africa was seen as a consumer, not a creator. But this single invention said the opposite. We can innovate. We can design. We can lead. Soon, other engineers joined the movement. Students from Ghana, Nigeria, and Kenya started their own prototypes. Wooden drones, scooters, even e-bikes powered by solar energy. Burkina Faso's universities began offering eco-engineering labs, teaching young innovators how to use local resources for global problems. The government announced plans to build a wood tech innovation center, blending traditional African craftsmanship with modern green technology. And when the second prototype, Timbe 2, rolled out, it wasn't powered by fuel. It was powered by the sun. Solar panels mounted along the frame, a lightweight battery pack under the seat, and a top speed of 140 km/h. This was no longer an experiment. It was the beginning of an African tech revolution. When a nation with few resources builds something the world said was impossible, it reminds us what innovation truly means. It's not about money, it's about mindset. The wooden superbike of Burkina Faso may not rival a Ducati or a Tesla, but it carries something far more powerful than speed. Hope. A voice that says, the future isn't imported. It's made right here with our hands, our soil, and our spirit. And as the sun sets over the red earth of Africa, the wooden superbike stands tall, not just as a machine, but as a message to humanity. If wood can race, then dreams can fly.